You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Wilfred After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Wilfred After Show.
Yo. Yo. What's good, everyone out there in listener land? Welcome to the Wilfred After Show. Tonight, Bing is for doing, and we are doing episode 7 of season 2, entitled Truth.
But you might as well put a "the" because, man, this was the definitive "the."
This was a capital T truth.
This is a big episode.
But before we get too into this, let us introduce ourselves. I am John Barrett. With me, as always, are my lovely co-hosts.
You're lovely.
I'm
so lovely.
You're lovelier.
Aw, he's so sweet.
Can you guys just say your goddamn names?
We're flirting. Leave us alone.
I'm Greg Goodness.
I'm Chevonne Hughes.
Whoever gets their name out first wins. So sorry, Chevonne. So tonight's contest is going to be write the meanest thing you can about Chevonne in our comment section.
Be nice.
All right, so this episode, all about the truth.
And we finally get to ask ourselves a question that we haven't asked in a while, probably since we got into the whole "is the basement a real place" of the cliffhanger season 1. What is real?
Right.
In Ryan's twisted little head.
Well, I think it's important to make a distinction between what is real and what is a product of Ryan's twisted little head.
Right.
Because I think I'm willing to bet 75% of what goes on in an average episode of this show is not real.
Right.
Not happening in the real world
Right.
outside of Ryan's schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, there's not a lot of third-party perspectives that goes on.
Nope.
So if there's no third party, I will basically think that was just, it's not real.
Hey, everyone. I have just been given a correction. It is episode number 8.
Oh.
8.
Yeah, so sorry. We're really sorry. Greg
We
is
have to-
really sorry
Guys,
for
we have
messing
to
up.
start over again. Bing is for doing, and we are doing.
I'm Chevonne Hughes. I got it out.
And now the contest is to say the meanest thing you can about Greg.
This basement idea is killing me because just when we thought that we established that the basement is real, that for whatever reason Ryan decided, or Wilfred decided, to put up a plaster fake wall to make it look like a closet, Wilfred once again brings up if this basement is even real, which we're not sure it is. So when you're saying that you're 75% sure that what's happening in an episode is not going on in the real world, what possibility do you give to the basement being real?
Like 4.
Yeah.
4?
I never thought it was real. Even with the little mini episode thing, like online, I was like, okay, so it's kind of like it's all in his head. Kind of like, Dreamcatcher. Remember how they had the library in the guy's head, and that's where he kept all of his secrets and all that?
You're assuming anyone here has seen Dreamcatcher.
It was great.
Which I think is
It was
pretty
awful and great at the same
Okay.
time.
Which one was Dreamcatcher?
The Stephen King one?
Yeah, Stephen King one. Yeah, with a monster that comes into people's asses. Butts. Oops.
I
Butts.
think we can say asses.
Okay.
They say it on the show.
They say it
Yeah,
on
that's
the show.
right. They do. Yeah.
If they say it on the show, we can say it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Context.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's not real. I disagree. I think that the basement is real. I think that what goes on down there is probably definitely not. But they've established that, like, okay, there are windows in this basement. It has to be. It has windows. It has to be real.
But then all of a sudden they have there's like a storm door now that was never shown before.
No, it was.
they've
It
had
was?
that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where was
That's
that?
where they go.
Busting
That's where
them.
they go. They come busting down from in the dance number, yeah, which was totally real
Yeah,
too.
that's what I'm saying. But also too, like nobody outside of Wilfred and Ryan's crazy relationship has been in the basement.
Right. Also, there's a dog taking bong hits down there.
Just for consideration.
Yeah, I mean, just to point that part out. But they raise a lot of questions about the truth in this. It immediately opens on Amanda asking Ryan to reveal his biggest secret. And we all learned something about Ryan in that he knows he has some horrible secret to unveil. The thing is, I don't know which secret of his he is most upset to reveal.
I instantly got right away. I'll disagree with you on that point. I'm disagreeing with you guys a lot tonight. But right away, I was like, it's my biggest secret is I see a dog and I hang out with him. And
I mean, that's where that's where I went.
Right.
But I think in the episode, I feel like it's starting to show that he understands now that this is probably mental illness. Like, he's probably starting to be convinced that this is because he's schizophrenic. This is because he's not well.
it's not just that he's hanging out with a dog anymore,
Right.
and that's fun. It's, oh, well, I'm hanging out with a dog, but I know none of this is real.
Yeah.
I know this is all in my head, which I think is an important, inevitable step that the show had to go towards, because you can't just have someone. Maybe you can. I'm sure sitcoms have done it in the past. None are springing to mind, but someone who just has an imaginary friend that pops up, and we never address that. But I think
Sesame Street.
sure, why not?
Yeah.
Sesame Street.
Maybe Pete and Pete.
Snuffleupagus was fake was imaginary for a little while, and then they decided that he was real.
How deep are you into Sesame Street canon?
That's actually a pretty well known thing. Like we're gonna get a little off track, but I want to get this out there. They made the decision to make Snuffleupagus real because kids weren't telling their parents about like abuse at school. Because
Yeah.
that's real talk. That's
Knowing it's growing.
Perfect.
Knowing
Well
it's growing.
done. Bravo.
Marissa, you are the bomb.
That is perfect timing. And way to bring us out of a super downer. Are they going to do something similar then on Wilfred, if this is the direction that we're going in?
I don't think kids are watching Wilfred.
Well, that's not.
Let's hope not.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we're on this sort of trajectory, right? Where we've established, okay, this is all fake. And then, I don't know, are we going to pull out of this sort of tail dive that we've gone into? And all of a sudden, everything's real?
I really hope not.
I mean, I know it's a predictions question, but it's something that I
They
think
can't
should
stay
address.
where we were left at the end of this episode. There's no way they continue the rest of the season like that.
Yeah, yeah, I should say for sure.
Yeah. Hey guys,
Yo,
you buy stuff?
Sometimes.
You buy stuff on Amazon?
who doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got stuff.
Do you hate typing like I do?
Abhor it.
I don't even know how to type.
Yeah. Greg just slams keyboards with his face. Pretty funny.
I'm a writer too, so I subscribe by the theory that as long as I just keep hitting a key,
It'll eventually work out.
I'll write a masterpiece.
So, like you two, I share an abhorrence of typing, but I love Amazon. And AfterBuzz TV, guys, has solved that dilemma. We have a little banner we run for Amazon. Click that little banner, you go right to their website, buy whatever you're going to buy. Season 1 of Wilfred on DVD. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just saying.
Or the Blu-ray.
Or Blu-ray.
If you got some disposable income.
If you got a little more money than any of us do. Or you can buy a dog suit if that's your thing. Doesn't even need to be a Wilfred dog suit. Doesn't even need to be about Wilfred. It can be about whatever you want that dog suit to be about.
Hopefully it's not about you being schizophrenic.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But even if you are,
And you're buying a dog suit.
still, click on the banner.
Click on the banner. Because a little bit of the profits they make off that crap comes to us. Keeps the lights on, lets you listen to all the stuff we have to say about Wilfred. And look, you get to look at our pretty faces too. So
Keep that in mind.
So, to get at the heart of what the truth really is in this episode, we are forced to watch Ryan. Forced. They held us. Basically, this is a funny thing. If you didn't watch it live, FX did this weird sort of A Clockwork Orange thing to everyone who watches Wilfred. We were all strapped into chairs and had our eyelids forced open.
And we drank milk.
And we were drinking drugged milk and listening to lots of Beethoven.
We've all seen the movie. We get it. Move on.
Obscure references. Keep going. Keep going.
Anyway, Droogs. We watched this game go down between Ryan and Dwight Yoakam playing Bruce, which Greg doesn't remember because Greg was really drunk when he was here for that episode.
As I frequently am.
He's probably drunk right now.
I liked the game. I liked that it was a brief sort of respite, if you will,
from the ensuing
horrifying,
darkness.
ensuing the previous and the ensuing, the
true.
bookends of darkness. But man, oh man, I cannot follow that game
There
at
were
all.
no discernible rules
I think
whatsoever.
Basically, that was Calvin Ball, is what they were playing. They were playing Calvin Ball with no ball.
Okay, and they were dressed as Santa for
some reason.
Santa. Well, I don't know if it was Santa, but they had beards.
Yeah.
I know that much.
Look, 1 second. Chevonne, you look confused when I said Calvin Ball.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Calvin and Hobbes. It's the game.
Oh, so I thought it might have been that, but I wasn't sure.
It's a game where it's never played the same way at any two given times, and the rules are made up on the spot.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
I'm caught up. Knowing is growing.
So, it seems that there is a bearded gentleman off the game called Why Is He Wearing That Mask?
Why the hell is he wearing that
Why
mask?
the hell is he wearing that mask? Which is a great game, and I'm going to play that with a lot of people soon.
Presumably people who aren't familiar with the rules of whatever game this is.
I don't know about you, but if like somebody had like surprised me in my own basement wearing a pig mask, it would have gone down a whole different way. It would have been like my fist on their face because that would scare the crap out of me.
You say that. You want to pretend
no,
like you're
no.
all bad and everything. But as soon as it happens, you say, eek, a pig mask!
No, what you say is, "Eee! Why the hell is he wearing that mask?"
And then you
Also,
win.
the fact of the
Point
matter
other game.
is, if it's already established that a game is about to happen
Right.
between you, some weird guy you kind of know,
Right.
and your dog friend, you do know who that is in the mask,
Right.
And you're probably more confused about the mask than you are
why the hell is he
threatened
wearing-
by
Gotcha.
him appearing, because
It
you
was a
know
scary
he's there.
mask, though.
It was a scary
Yeah.
mask. Did he have a cigar in
Yeah,
his
he
mouth
did.
too?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. That's an awesome game. What was the question that Ryan was asked that the answer was Martin Van Buren?
Oh,
It was a riddle, not a question.
yeah. It was what has a colorful nose.
No. I know
Sharpened
it was-
beak,
it was,
rests on wood.
It was
lives in the sky.
No, it was a beak like a nose like a dagger, a sunset face, and something in the blue. It was like
Lives in
Lives
the
in the
blue,
blue.
and something about wood at the base.
yeah.
So,
It rests on wood.
however,
I gotta look up some Martin Van Buren facts to see.
Yeah.
Because that is I'm not entirely sure.
But that just goes to show
how
the
he
intelligence of the
lives in
writers.
blue.
Rosacea.
I will say though, as much as we had a fun time getting through all this, and oh yeah, point me, you, here's a beard, it worked really well as a device to set up
Yeah.
towards the end. Not super sold on calling the father and having that be a sort of that's the dare, which is
Right.
also the truth, but really, really effective. Towards the end, I was legitimately like, "What's in the suitcase?" Which I hadn't been at the start of all this, and then knowing that we had this sort of crazy build up to it, definitely built up the suspense for me.
Right. And that's also the moment when he was like, okay, call your dad. Mm-hmm. That was just my proof that Bruce wasn't real. I don't know if it had already been established or not, but I was kind of like, how does he out of the blue know about Ryan's dad?
Right.
Mm-hmm. How do we know about the dad? Where did we get this phone? How does he know the number? Yeah. That's a very valid point that I previously had not considered. Again, because of my sort of shortcomings of memory with Bruce, I guess I overlooked that.
Who looked ever so creepy, as per usual.
He did look pretty scary.
Yeah.
If that guy was just popping out of nowhere, I'd be freaked out too.
Yeah.
Wearing a
Dwight
pig
Yoakam's
mask.
not a pretty guy. Let's be real. I also love that just him shouting "I choose truth" is that's how he wins the game.
Right.
And then what was the call for death? Sudden death. It was Manchichi Zubble.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They call Monchichi Bubbles, I think.
Yeah.
We got to look that up because I'm going to use that the next time I threaten you with death.
Which is frequent. If the police are watching.
Speaking of watching, maybe? Is it time for that?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Is it time
Finish
to
what
talk
you-
about...
Finish your
Well,
thoughts, sir.
I did just want to point out that my first thought as to what was going to be won in the game was finding out that Marcellus Wallace's soul was in the...
Oh my God, you! We broke up a perfectly smooth
I
transition
know.
for a Pulp Fiction reference.
Sorry, man.
Had to be done. Had to be done.
Hey, if you want to complain about this guy,
New
you know
game.
where you can do that.
You can do that on iTunes. In the podcast app that they have where they let you listen to podcasts, which this is, and rate and comment on podcasts. Again, this is one of those things. So you can rate our show. You can comment on it, say horrible things about Greg Goodness and how much of a mean person he is and how scary and how he makes you feel small.
And a drunk.
And he's a drunk.
A very
He's
functional drunk.
He's a functional, fully functional grade A drunk. He is in that glass in front of him is pure tequila with the worm. And it doesn't even hurt him. It doesn't even hurt him. But anyway, rate, comment, tell your friends. That's all we ask.
Do it.
Except for your immortal soul.
Wait,
Which is also in a suitcase that
Yes.
happens to be along with Marcellus
You
Wallace.
brought up the worm.
Get it.
Was anyone else really disturbed by that in the game?
Ooh, yes.
Having
Yeah.
to eat the leech off the head.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting next to you, John, and I was losing my mind. I was like, I was cringing. My body was just like morphing in crazy ways.
Here's my thing, though. At what point did you ever think it was a good idea to expect them not to be disgusting on this show?
The man
I
makes
don't
a valid
know.
point.
It just went to a whole new level of using insects, and me and insects are not buddies.
Not cool?
At all.
You
At
don't
all.
get along?
No,
No,
no.
not at all.
We're not good friends. Me and bugs.
No, me neither. I don't like him. Don't like him at all.
Fair enough.
But anyway, you know what kind of person eats bugs? Someone who's mentally ill.
Nice one.
Thank you.
We should give awards for segues.
Thank you. And you know who clearly proves that he's mentally ill in this episode
And accepts it.
and finally seems to really come to terms with the fact that his brain is basically farting all over itself, which is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, psychiatrists out there. That's what's happening when you have schizophrenia, right?
That's in the DMA, man.
Right,
That's
that's what I
what's
thought.
going on.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool. Anyway, Ryan's brain's farting all over him, and he grows to accept it. One thing I picked up, I don't know if you guys noticed this, when he was lying under the bookshelf, like right next to his head was the bottle of pills.
Yeah, that's true. As in that he
those
went
were the-
off his pills,
Well,
or
I
he has
think
never
it
been
was-
taking his pills.
I think it was earlier. It was established earlier that pill bottle was full of the pills he used to try to kill himself. But I just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
think about it.
He's a sick boy.
Well,
Very ill.
Yeah. Like, he's talking to a goddamn dog.
I have to say that every once in a while there'll be a moment on TV where I just shudder on my insides. That moment came at the beginning of this episode, and I think it set up what Ryan ultimately has to accept about himself. He says, these things aren't me. And Wilfred says, these things will always be you. Which is horrifying and terrifying. Yeah. But I think that they do a great job where we set it up as we always have. We've always seen Ryan sort of shrug it off, be like, oh, well, yeah, I see you're talking dog, but hey, I can get better, right? And then at the end of the episode, we've finally made this journey through a bizarre series of leech eating. Yeah. That, okay, there actually is something wrong with me to the point where I can hurt other people.
Right. Well, there's also, it's really well illustrated by the end of the game being him tapping that clock and Wilfred being like, you just spent 12 hours playing a made-up game with your neighbor's dog. Right. Which, in the sort of, under the assumptions that I've made about the show means the last remnants of a functioning part of his brain were like, get with it, buddy. You just spent 12 hours playing with a dog that you think is a person. Mm-hmm. Which is terrifying, ultimately. Yeah, and no, because any other situation where they had set that up in, again, if we didn't draw attention to it, well, especially with the clock, right? We just said, oh, well, him and Wilfred hanging out and having a good time and pulling an all-nighter. I will say, I thought about it when it was morning, when he was, but, I just sort of thought about it. I was like, it's weird that they're doing that, and that's...
But that's what I'm saying, is that it ultimately leads up to this realization, like, hold on, we can't not address this. Right. Both the show and Ryan are saying, we can no longer not address this.
And
this
Wilfred is too.
And Wilfred, is finally saying, there is something seriously wrong here.
Your brain's messed up.
So maybe Ryan created Wilfred to kind of help him figure that out. He's saying, Wilfred says, I lie to you because I love you, right? Mm-hmm. So he's kind of easing him into the fact of the awakening of like, okay, I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Right.
His brain misfiring, but trying to fix
and farting on itself.
Yeah.
And farting on itself as
in an attempt to fix itself.
And that's the thing. Like basically, I think we're sort of establishing in Ryan has always had this preconception that I think exists in a lot of people, that mental illness can be cured, and it can't. Your brain functions that way because it functions that way, and it can only be treated. And I think he's learning, like, he hasn't been treating it, and it's getting worse.
Right.
Which is...
And it's messing up a perfectly good relationship with a really cute girl.
So heartbreaking.
Well, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that I think he ruined it. I don't think he messed it up. I think it's
done. There's no break.
It's over.
When someone says we're taking a break,
there's no
coming back together after that.
He's done some pretty significant damage there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And man, that throws a monkey wrench in our theories about what's going to be going on this season. And man, it's really uncertain now.
Yeah.
And they did a pretty good job of setting that up.
That's right.
Intentional or no.
Indeed they have.
I don't know. They've given us a lot to think of.
Exactly.
You know who spends a lot of time thinking when he's out on the road?
Nope.
No? No?
We cut that.
Oh, all right.
We cut that bit. So, Greg.
Yes.
You got some information from
AfterBuzz TV.
TCA?
Yeah, the Television Critics Conference or television. I'm blanking on the last letter of the name.
Association,
yes.
I think.
Yeah. Basically, this is where TV shows do their big upfronts. It's where they, parade around what they're going to be doing next year. And we got some interesting info up on Wilfred. Now, you may know that on FX, they also have some other programs, namely Brand X and Louie. Right. Now, at this conference, they have already announced that Brand X is picked up for another season.
Tim Heidecker's stoked.
Louis picked up for another season.
I'm stoked.
The world is stoked. Wilfred, it's not canceled, but it has not been given the green light for a season 3 yet. So we got to figure out what that means. Now, numbers-wise, we got to remember TV is a business. As much as we love talking about it and dissecting it and having a good time, it is a business. Ratings went up this year. Okay, we're up 12% from last year, which is a good thing. But a lot of people are saying that's because you're getting a lead-in from anger management. Anger management people are sticking around to watch. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? What do you think this means for the future of Wilfred? We've had the unfortunate, what have you, of being on of doing a podcast for a canceled show before.
Yeah.
And it's no fun.
But we all knew it was coming.
We did. John Benjamin had a van, could not sustain.
That was not going to.
But I think this is a show that can. I think that this is a show that has legs, it has big star power, it's like this episode proved, it's weird, okay? We get really dark along with really funny sometimes, but I think that's valuable. I think this is a valuable commodity to have.
I think we'll see what happens. See what happens with these Hobbit movies.
He's only in it for like 4 minutes or something, right? He's not a good thing.
I don't know, but I think what we saw in this episode was kind of like the beginning, for me at least, of the end, because he's realized what's going on, and now he's going to have to go on a journey of getting better.
They did kind of go for broke last season, where this is my counter argument to that, if it's not clear entirely. But they did build up where, again, cliffhanger of season 1 was, maybe this wasn't real after all.
Right.
So I think that maybe that's just the natural progression of the season.
To keep us guessing.
Right.
Every season.
But
Lost.
Every season, go for broke.
That one.
You'll never know if you get another one. But I really think that this show has legs. I think that it absolutely should be. I think that the executives at FX should get off their duffs and start renewing this show.
You heard that here, folks.
Get off your duff.
All right. I think that leads us very much into the spooky theremin music.
Oh, so refreshing.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, guys. Predict something.
Well, I think I already did. I think it's the beginning of him coming to the realization that he is not well, and that slowly Wilfred they'll have to kill him off somehow because he's going to try to get better.
He chases an ice cream truck off into the sky.
Yeah, he starts taking his pills, and slowly parts of Wilfred's body just starts disappearing.
And then he has to go to the undersea dance and kiss his mother.
Yes, exactly.
Predict something.
You said it's the end of this relationship with Amanda. I don't think that's the case. I think we've done some serious damage in here, but I think, and I would hope, that we get back and he realizes that there's still something to be said about that relationship. And I don't know, maybe we'll see the return of more Jenna in that interim, but I'm hoping for more Amanda.
You're wrong. All right. My prediction. I predict this goes either two ways, and Ryan gets well and Wilfred disappears, or Ryan gets worse and worse and worse and dies.
Either way.
That's
Either way, it's a good show. Either way.
It's morbid.
That's not even wrong, it's just invalid.
It's just riding a fence, essentially.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, guys. All right, tell them where they can find you.
At Chevonne_Hughes on Twitter.
I am at Generic Maverick on the tweet space.
At John Barrett on the Twitters. And you can find me doing the South Park Classics podcast on Wednesday evenings. So, on behalf of everyone here at AfterBuzz and my lovely co-hosts, I'd like to say good night and tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.